Well, we have all seen it. Kids glued to their phones, kids immersed in tablets at airports and restaurant tables as children and young people spend an increasing amount of time with screens. Parents are beginning to wonder if all this screen time is safe.
So joining us this morning with advice on proper screen time, social media expert, safety expert, I should say, because we're going to talk safety, Paul Davis. Thank you so much. There's so much to talk about. Just in the break, we had so many questions.
You're a proud papa of two. And you give a tough love approach when it comes to screen time. Talk to us about where we're at. This is a pretty new phenomenon, and yet it's very much impacted all of our lives.
Right. So a study just came out in the UK stating that they can't quantify the amount of time a kid should be in a screen, which has upset a lot of parents because they were looking for solutions. But in Canada, the Canadian Pediatric Society stated that we should give kids 0 to 2 years of age no screen time, 2 to 5 years of age 1 hour a day, and 5 to 10 approximately 2 to 3 hours a day. And a screen incorporates a television, a tablet PC, a computer monitor, and of course a phone. So we can use those as guidelines, and I think the Canadian Pediatric Society has done a good job. But I go by some very simple rules. I don't want to quantify the exact amount of screen time, but I follow some very simple rules, which is number one, in your home, when you're at the dinner table, the breakfast table, the lunch table, there are no devices. Our kids are the most important thing. Focus on your kids, nothing else. 1 hour before bed, I subscribe to a study that talks about no screens 1 hour before you close your eyes. My rule is when you are in your bedroom, there are absolutely no devices. So your kid is going to get a full night's sleep. They're going to function better the next day in school. And they're not going to make these horrible mistakes, which are snapping at 2 o'clock in the morning, texting at 3 o'clock in the morning, getting notifications at 4 o'clock in the morning, and coming to school sleep deprived. And you know that nothing good happens in a bedroom at 2 o'clock in the morning underneath the sheets on Snapchat. So get it out of the bedroom.
Well, there's a lot of students now, a lot of school boards are moving toward using these tablets and using technology to learn as education tools. So if your child, your youngster says, but it's education, I need to be using this, what do you say as a parent?
The school should restrict the amount of time they utilize those devices in school. Some schools have the BYOD policy, bring your own device to school. Restrict the amount of time they can use it. I want kids in elementary school being kids, playing with each other. So some schools have implemented what's called the cell phone hotel, which is the kid comes into class, they put their phone in this designated slot until they're instructed to use it by the teacher. When they're done, they put it back. So at recess, kids are playing with each other. At lunchtime, call this crazy, they talk to each other.
Weird.
I know, right? So, and,
old school.
And there's no phones in the bathroom, the locker room, the change room. And there are less problems at the schools. The children can still use the technology, but they're not as distracted, and they still get to learn these skills of human interaction, respect, eye contact. Just these skills are going to be really important later on in life.
How do you tell a 14, 15, 16-year-old who's all about their peers and they want to fit in that you are not allowed to take your phone to bed at night, and how do you actually confiscate it? And do you say, listen, you're still living, do you use the old, you're living under my roof, my rules, and you just take it from them? What do you do?
Well, in my household, I don't have to take it from them. It's structured where they'll put their phone in a certain place every night. But I want parents to remind themselves, who purchased the phone? You did. Your name is on that agreement. You signed the contract with the cellular network. You pay for that phone every month. And if a police officer confiscates a device and to look up who the legal registered owner of that device is in Canada, the parent's name comes up. So how about parents start being parents and saying, that's my device, it's on loan to you. And by the way, a smartphone is a privilege. It is not a right. You've been given the privilege to utilize a smartphone. It will come with rules. And so like a license in the province of Ontario, it can be revoked because a license is a privilege. We can revoke the right to you to utilize your phone. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to utilize that device during the course of the day. We'll put some restrictions on it, but every night it belongs there at this time. And if they don't do that, be a parent and take it away. Meaning take it with you to your bedroom, charge it for them, be nice. The next day, give it back to them. But give them that full night's sleep and disconnect them. They have to remove themselves from the fear of missing out, otherwise known as FOMO. We don't have to respond to every text, to every email, to every social media posting. We can disconnect. We are modeling their behavior, and we have to lead the way.
I want to quickly touch on safety, because we're just talking screen time here, but online safety, it is still very new for a lot of parents learning, you know, the geotagging. People can see where your kids are for locations. They recognize maybe a landmark in a photo. And kids aren't necessarily aware of this. Parents aren't necessarily aware of this. So how do you monitor that?
Well, we have to stop going from our emotions to our fingertips. So we love taking pictures and going right from, I love that picture, to I'm going to post it. We should always step back and do a few things. Number one, take the picture and look for background noise. What does it stay in the picture? So if there is a landmark that could identify where you live, we want to remove that. So crop that out. when we take pictures with our smartphones, they're in high resolution. If you upload those photos to some platforms, anyone can download them, reproduce them, and blow them up. So my tip has always been, when you take a picture on social media, reduce the image to under 640 by 480 resolution, which means about 620 by 460. If anyone downloads that image online from your social media profile and they go to Walmart to print it out, they will print out a 4:6 pixelized picture, which is not perfect. But if you upload a photo, 640 by 480 at minimum, they can print out a perfect, crystal clear 4:6 picture, reproduce it, and blow it up.
Oh my gosh, we're just scratching the surface. How do people get a hold of you? I know you give plenty of talks to kids and schools as well as parents.
Right. My website is socialnetworkingsafety.net, but for parents to keep up with me with tips and tricks, it's facebook.com/Paul Davis Tips, TIPS.
And it's okay to go online to go for those tips. Don't worry.
Absolutely.
This is helping you.
Absolutely.
We'll have all those links on breakfasttelevision.ca as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank
right
you,
now,
Paul.
we're going to throw things over to Tammy in the newsroom.